name's Maddie. Welcome to Maddie Makes, a channel where I'm going to be documenting all of the art and crafts I make. This video is going to be me documenting one of the first crafts / art I made at the beginning of quarantine for my very cute dogs. Insert clips here. Let's ride. Let's ride. I made them small cowboy hats. Enjoy the journey. All the materials I used were just found from around my house or recycled from the recycling bin as it was quarantine. Here you can see me using improper form sawing, do not do this, and then just to get the hole for the cowboy hat for the center of it. And then here I am cutting the cowboy hat down to size. Then bending up the sides for the brims of the hat. Then cutting the hat down to shape. Next, I added zip ties to be the boning of the hat to give it some structure, because the cardboard itself was having difficulties holding the actual cowboy hat shape. The zip ties were hot glued to the cardboard material of the hat. I chose this fabric to line the actual hat with to hide the cardboard and add some visual interest. I'm just measuring how large the piece of fabric is going to need to be to cover one side of the cardboard. And why would I ever use a ruler when I could just do it like this? Now that that's cut out, I'm just going to hot glue it onto the surface and back. Now that it's hot glued on, what I'm going to do with the excess fabric is I'm going to be cutting slits just like this, and then I'm going to fold those slits back and hot glue them to the underside so it covers the edge of the cardboard. Once the edges have been glued, I'm repeating the same process for the underside, where I'm measuring how large the fabric needs to be and cutting it out to cover the underside of the hat. Here I'm just hot gluing the fabric to the underside of the cowboy hat, and as you can see here, I'm getting second-degree burns from burning hot glue. Now that the underside is completely covered in fabric, we can now work on the Easter egg that we sawed earlier. The next step was to measure out the right width and height of fabric to cover half of the sawed Easter egg, just by rolling it out over the fabric, because again, why would I use a ruler? Now just checking to see that it is the right size and height, and it is. And now that it's hot glued onto the rim, I'm going to fix the overhanging fabric by again just cutting vertical slits so it can be hot glued flush to the surface of the Easter egg. As you can see with the cuts in the fabric, you can just tuck it right under the edge of the Easter egg. But before we actually hot glue it down, what we're going to do is measure and cut the panel of fabric that's going to cover the middle of the top of the cowboy hat. Now that all the fabric's cut, we can hot glue all the pieces together, which includes hot gluing the flaps down to the surface of the Easter egg, and now hot gluing the piece of fabric onto the Easter egg to cover the hole. And as you can see, it is literally steaming, and I am a big idiot, so I'm using my hands to do this. So if anyone is watching and actually gonna do this, never use your hands for this. Just use a toothpick or something, or your scissors, literally anything other than your hands, because I had like actual blisters by the end of this. Ta-da! Everything is covered in fabric and looking beautiful. And now the next step is to add some fancy trim to the top of the hat. I'm using this glitter tape, but you could use any piece of ribbon or like string you're feeling. Next, I'm going to add an accent piece at the front of the cowboy hat, which is just a star iron-on patch. And I'm just making sure it's centered in the front of the hat. And now I am gluing on the top to the base. To attach the hat to Bess's head, I need a measurement of how big her head is, and it was really hard to get her to stay still for this. Once I cut it to size, I hot glued it to the base of the hat, and then I covered the elastic with a small strip of material just to make the base look more homogeneous. Ta-da! The hat is done, and now for the big reveal.
You're the last cowgirl. Oh, too bad you're still stampede this year. Rats. Thank you, Maddie, for my hat.
She's so cute. It works so much better than the ties. Look. Oh my god. It's amazing. Look at her! She's not even bothered. It's staying on so good.
Where's Mongo? You gotta
Little
come here.
cowgirl.
Look at him right. She's popping up now. Who's a good boy? You're a good boy. You're a good boy. Bye, Sharon.